You're listening to the Longer Haul Youth Ministry Podcast with Jody Livingston and Chris Trent, episode number 92.
Welcome to the Longer Haul Youth Ministry Podcast, helping you survive and thrive in youth ministry. And now, your hosts, Jody Livingston and Chris Trent.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the show today. Thanks for tuning in and listening wherever you are and wherever this finds you. Thanks for making this podcast today a part of your day. If it's your first time checking out the show and listening, welcome. We're glad you're here. If you are a return listener, perhaps a member of the super secret podcast group even, we're glad that you're still here putting up with Chris. And so you can, of course, find this show coming out pretty regularly. And the easiest way to find it when it comes out
pretty regularly
is to subscribe. I mean, mostly regularly.
Well, we have jobs, people. That's what's going on. We have a life outside of this, believe it or not. And
I just like to throw out, don't set your expectations too high.
I mean, we're pretty consistent,
Yeah. Yeah, so for the most part, new episode every week. So make sure you subscribe to those wherever you listen, whether that's iTunes or Spotify or whatever your favorite podcast player is. That'd be good. And like Chris said, we actually have other things that we do besides this. This is kind of a thing that we do because we're passionate about helping other youth pastors.
I call it a side hustle, but side hustles make money.
Generally you don't pay for a side hustle.
Yeah, so thankfully we're blessed with some people that love us. But and not making money, but at least not having to pay to do it anymore. But so how is youth ministry in California?
It's good. We're of course changing gears a bit for summer. And
you told me the temperature that day was killing me, man, because in the southeast here in Georgia,
it's super hot.
Good night.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to Texas next week on a mission trip with our 7th and 8th graders, and the temperature is going to be cooler in Texas than it is in Georgia. What? That doesn't make any sense. But that's what it's looking like right now. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah,
but what's it been like in California? I mean, you're like in the 70s and junk.
Yeah, it's super weird right now. Normally it wouldn't be this way, but yeah, it's like in the 70s. Tomorrow, actually, I'm looking right here. Tomorrow's going to be 52.
Good. But you're in the desert, so is it going to feel like the desert at some point?
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Like it's coming.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
When did you move out there?
December.
So you've not lived through a summer yet.
Oh no.
And you hear that it's like nuts.
Oh yeah, it's like 120.
I don't think it's 120.
Yeah, that's
feels like, huh?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I mean, you can fry eggs on the sidewalk. That counts, right?
Good night. Yeah, that's pretty hot.
It's like 100. Yeah, it gets to like 150 degrees.
Yeah.
60,
you keep adding numbers to it.
It gets hot. It's not yet, and I'm thankful. But they did. It's funny, when I moved here, they were like, "Oh man, it never rains. You're gonna love it here." And literally, it's like the wettest I think it's ever been in SoCal. It rains.
So, I wonder, do you think that's going to impact youth ministry anyway in terms of like outside kind of things? I mean,
yeah, it could. Because here's the thing. This is funny. I had this conversation this week. When I was in Georgia, it was like clockwork, man. Anytime we scheduled an outside event, you just knew it was going to rain. So you always had a backup plan for inside. That doesn't happen here. Ever. Like there is no backup plan because it generally speaking, it never rains. And so, yeah, it makes me just a little nervous not to have an indoor plan because I'm so used to doing it, but no one else seems to be fazed by that. So, okay. All right. I will roll with it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Sun, like right now, sun's out, not a cloud in the sky, man. It's not even, it does get a little windy here, and by a little bit, I mean like a lot. But
I
it's
need
not
to
bad.
send you a kite, man. A prism.
Oh, I have some kites. I have some
Do you have a
kites.
2-line kite?
Yeah, I do.
Those are awesome.
I just bought a new kite.
Like a 2-line kite?
No, I bought one for Jack. It's like a big dragon looking thing, but it's cool because
Yeah.
when you can just let it out, stake it down.
I had no idea that you fly like that. You actually were into kites. Like I'm totally into kites.
Yeah.
Which everybody right now just is like, yep, I'm switching over to Download Youth Ministry podcast.
Well, they're not surprised.
we just lost everybody.
Like, wait, magic and kites? This is too much.
Disney, yeah. Dude, kite
so it's
flying's
good.
awesome. Like I'm talking about 2-line kite fly where you can control it. When I first learned, I crashed a bunch, but yeah, that's awesome.
No, they're fun. And now it gets where I live is super windy and gusty.
Yeah.
So it's hard here, but when we drive down to the beach, easy enough.
Gusty's no good, but yeah.
No, Gusty's
consistent.
Bad. Yeah. Gusty's bad.
Well, good. Well, hey, we are glad to be doing this, and we are thankful that we don't actually have to pay anymore, like we said. And that is because we have great sponsors like Youth Ministry 360. They're great. YM360, love those guys. They're gearing up for the summer right now. I suspect their Generate camp starts any day now. But I suspect also if you're listening to this in a timely fashion when it's coming out here in late May of 2019, you have already got your camp plans. You should have your camp plans for the summer already for the summer.
I hope you have your camp planned.
But if you are thinking about making a change next year, I would highly recommend you consider Generate. They're great. And it would also be maybe a deal where you could, over the summer, take a look at what they offer and even pop in on one of their camps. I know they'd love to host you and show you around. And if I could help coordinate a meeting with you and Roger, who does their camp, reach out to me on our, what do you call it? Our super secret podcast group. Yeah. On our podcast group, you can reach out to me and I would connect those dots easy.
I feel like the secret's out.
Yeah.
Somebody's been breaking. Somebody broke the secret.
Yeah, somebody did. But yeah, so Generate Camp, good stuff, curriculum. You guys hear us say this all the time, but we really do love them. And also big time thankful for the Student Ministry Network, the folks here in Georgia who do youth ministry. Thankful for what they do. Thankful that they're supporting us also. There is a promo code, by the way, for YM360.
Yeah. Longer haul.
And
it'll save you 20% on everything.
Yeah, it's good times.
Most things.
Good times. Yep.
So, cool topic today. And here's the thing. I was thinking about this.
More like a hot topic because it's about summer.
Yes.
See what I did there?
I did. That's nice.
Bees will buzz. And the lion fuzz.
Now we've definitely lost them.
And I'll be doing youth ministry in summer.
So hopefully you've already planned your summer, right? I mean, like we talk a lot about planning ahead, but maybe you haven't, or you just need a few more things, or you're like, gosh, you're looking for maybe a new idea, fresh idea. When you're not going to get that today. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe you will.
I got some good stuff here, man. These are I got 5 things that you can straight up plan before, now. Like you could still do these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know if I believe you, but we'll see.
They are. I'm telling you. It's good stuff.
Do they involve magic?
Nope.
Disney?
Nope.
Kites?
Nope.
Chewy's restaurant?
Technically, no.
Okay. Then see, yeah, this will be fun. This will be new.
Yep.
So the thing here, we got five thoughts, 5 ideas for you for summer, but I have 5 and you have 5. So maybe it's 10. It'll be at least 5 and no more than 10. Fair to say?
Yeah. So we're calling it 5 ideas, but technically it'll end up being about 10 because you'll share yours, I'll share mine. But that's how we roll.
That's true. So yeah, are you ready to go? I'm ready to roll.
I'm ready. I got mine. Let's jump in this thing.
Okay, here we go.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Idea number 1. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first? You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you're pretty proud of your list, so you go first.
I'm proud of the work we do, man. I'm proud of my list. Dang straight. So I would say this before we jump into this. The whole idea here is unashamed, but I'm trying to think how to say this. I'm sounding like a bumbling nut right now. Good night. Get your words together, Chris.
We're normal. That's normal.
Yeah,
we're all used to that.
So as I think about this list, I noticed that, I do have kind of a spiritual kind of one here, but for the most part, I'm really coming at this from the standpoint of leveraging summer for the purpose of building relationships with teenagers.
Yes.
Now, of course, there's going to be some built-in spiritual components probably that you already have. Maybe a mission trip, summer camp, Sunday mornings. You're wanting to get people involved in all of those things. But unapologetically, I like to have fun as well and build relationship with kids and get to know kids. It's also a great time to get to know new kids, because if you're doing some fun stuff, they don't have anything to do. So maybe they end up getting plugged in. So those are the kind of things I just wanted to give you a framework of where I'm coming from with this, and also say that this is not the entirety of my youth ministry and the way we do youth ministry. This is focused in on the summer strategy, if you will. Does that make sense, Jody?
Yes, and
Okay.
I would agree.
Yeah. Okay. So that said, I would say my first one that I would throw out there is planning some intentional, what we call summer hangouts.
Yeah.
And these fall into two. This happens two ways for us. One is we literally just hang out, and obviously this depends on your church and your facilities and all that, and what type of student room you have. But one would be where we just intentionally say, hey, for 4 Thursdays throughout the summer at 1 to 4, we're going to just hang out at the student center or in our student room or whatever. But bring a little bit of clarification of that with them and saying, we're going to do this. Man, we're going to get together. We're going to play some board games, or we're going to watch a movie in the student room, or we're going to do something like that. Bring your own food. We're just going to hang out. I'm going to be hanging out with you, kind of thing. Maybe get a couple youth workers that can hang out, and not overplan it. Just literally just kind of hang out. But that said, one thing we do that we stumbled on last summer that we like a lot, and that is take advantage of depending on where you live, the local. Now, some folks that live in big time rural areas, this is going to maybe be a little bit harder, although there's still potentially some creativity here. But take advantage of your local attractions that they may not have gone to for a while. I'll give you an example for us. We live in Atlanta. So last summer, the biggest attended thing that we did, Jody, was I got a school bus, and we said for our hangout, we're going to go to the Varsity.
Oh yeah, man.
And so we went down to the Varsity in downtown,
which is a restaurant.
Then one of my interns
who don't know, that's a restaurant.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sort of.
Do you like it?
Oh yeah,
I love it.
How can
I know it's the most sloppy.
What do you have?
Sloppy burgers, fries ever, and onion rings. Stop it. But that orange drink, son,
super greasy.
I'll drink that stuff all day. All that to say,
where did you park the bus?
At Varsity? What are you talking about? They got a big bus parking area right there.
Oh yeah, on the side.
And I didn't park the bus. I rented a school bus, so the bus driver parked it. So, but I did do a school bus, man. I loathe school buses, just for the record. Like, they're terrible. But how do we here? Okay, sidetrack for a second. How do we not live in a world now in the United States with all of our infrastructure and everything we have going where school buses doesn't have air conditioning yet. You want to explain that one to me?
Well,
Like,
a lot of them do now.
where do they have them in Cal? Do you think school buses there have? I don't know of any yet. Like around here, they don't.
I don't know. I drive a Volkswagen bus with no air conditioning, so.
But you live in California, and y'all don't even
Yeah.
need AC out there. So okay, back to the thing.
That is
what I
not
was
true.
leveraging. So the biggest thing we did was we went to the varsity, and then one of my interns related to that said, she said that, boy, what if we went to the Coca-Cola Museum? Which
Oh,
Coca-Cola Museum, like almost every kid at some point has been on a field trip to the Coca-Cola Museum when they're in second grade or whatever, right?
Yep. And drank
That
the Beverly.
said, none of them had been in a while. Like it was an underused sort of deal. And so, man, we had a huge turnout. All these kids came. We went and we drank the Beverly, and we went and did this thing, and it was just awesome, man. We had a good time. So what I'm saying there, here's the idea. Going back to that hangout, do something local. I don't know what that is as far as. Maybe it's a hiking trail that you have in your area, or this one restaurant that everybody kind of digs, or this one sideshow. I'm thinking of like San Antonio. They have the snake farm, down there, and people would maybe never go take a trip to the snake farm, just stuff like that. So summer hangouts, it's good.
No, that's fun. And I would say if you haven't, like some of those things, like what you're saying, the varsity, Coca-Cola Museum, like those are pretty, you've done that enough. But if it's someplace that you haven't been in a while either, it might be worth going ahead of time and just checking it out just to make sure it still is what you remember it to be. Yeah.
Oh, it's not what you remembered it to be.
Or, safe. Yeah, so I have on mine similar. And we've done this for a few years at other places. We're going to do it again. We're doing it this summer here, which is kind of new for them. But it's the same thing, just maximizing that hangout thing. So we do like ultimate frisbee on Thursday mornings. And so we'll start, like 10 to 12 or something like that.
Love it. So
we stop before it starts getting real hot. And then some days, sometimes maybe we'll grab some ice cream and bring ice cream out or whatever. We don't have a designated like student center or student facility for us. So we have a space that we meet in, obviously, but it's kind of a shared space. So but there's a park across the street from us. So we'll meet up at the park and play some ultimate, and whoever comes, and whoever doesn't, that's fine. They don't, and no obligation. And it just that's a great, Frisbee's a pretty good equalizer. I mean, some people are really good at Frisbee, but most people aren't that great. So it's fun. Yeah. So we do kind of the same idea on that, but we've just leveraged Frisbee, and it's just a standing thing. Like, hey, Thursdays come out and play Frisbee. It works well for us. But yeah, we've done other things similar to you where we've opened up in the past. I've opened up, hey, we're going to have just some hangout time and whatever, foosball tournament or different things. That's good.
Yeah.
So that technically is one thing because we both sort of had a similar thing. So we're at 9 out of our 5, if we're counting, instead of 10. Cool. All right. You want to go or me?
Well, I think we'll take turns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My turn.
Okay. All right.
I would say maybe it's not too late for you to pull this off, but a intentional kickoff. I should have probably started with this one. A kickoff to summer. So when you think through kind of what you're doing and you come up with your strategy for the summer, actually making a big deal out of it to where you're introducing it. So we're having this Sunday what we call Summer Sunday, but stay with me here. It's not SUNDAY. It is SUNDAE. Oh, what? So we're going to be doing some ice cream on Sundays or this Sunday.
Yeah.
But the whole purpose is, and I went into our room the other day and our interns had decorated it. And I said, it looks like it looks like Party City exploded in here. Like threw up in here is what I said. I said, it looks like Party City threw up in here. Because it's just all kinds of summer, like bleh, right? But we're just intentionally trying to say, hey, summer's a big deal, and this is our plan, and we're going to introduce that to them this Sunday and talk about all the things. So big kickoff summer, and I'm doing a lesson on how not to waste your summer. It's just all those things related to that. So having some type of kick, and Summer Sunday, SUNDAE, props to my guy that I work with who came up with that one. It's probably been done before. Everything's been done before, I feel like, but
Nothing
just a
new
great
under
way
the
to kind of
sun.
say, hey, it's a big deal. We also, with that though, we created a social media strategy at the same time. And so we're kicking off Sunday. We're telling all the kids we're having a couple games. We're all dressing. I bought a turquoise shirt with pink flamingos that I'm going to wear, just to
Nice.
be weird and like, well, this is not something different, and tell that story. So having a big kickoff to your summer is huge. Now you can do that in a ton of different ways, but I love doing it in the normal where everybody's going to be at Sunday school type, Sunday morning type setting. That could be for some folks like a Wednesday night type setting, but just telling that story.
Would you spell Wednesday with an AE?
That would make sense,
Wednesday.
Jay.
Yeah, that's true.
No, Sunday is
No, and so here's what's cool about what you're saying, and this is what I hope people hear. And we've talked about this in like this in principle with other things. It's not just having the event itself. It's going in and thinking through like promotion and the social media strategy and how do we make this more than just you come in and we have ice cream. Like thinking through decorating that and even like what you're wearing as you come in and all those little things, add up. What's the graphic going to be? And those things, that's the piece that takes some time. But I love that. That's good. Yeah. Kickoff. Do you, I'm assuming you do a summer events calendar. And would you wait for that summer kickoff to promote that? Or would you put that calendar out before that?
Yeah. So I think ideally I would. So we're we're in a weird season right now where we're probably a little bit. We're just on time right now. Our rhythm is not. We're getting there. We're getting our rhythm back, but our rhythm is not ahead of time like it needs to be yet.
Yeah.
We're just doing a pretty good job staying on time, meaning summer's about to start and we're about to just get the word out to all the parents and everything. Ideally, This would have gone out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. A card, parents could put it on their refrigerator. We would have started. And we have been promoting it soft, but not hard.
Right.
So what we're doing, this is a make the best of it moment for us. And we're just we're going to throw a party. We're going to throw a big Sunday, a big summer Sunday party and just do the best. And on top of that, it's Memorial Day weekend. But a little tip for you there, folks, friends, are you listening? Listen, I'm telling you, this is worth your time right here. It says something to your people when you put your best foot forward on a weekend like Memorial Day weekend, instead of just throwing in the towel because not many people are going to be there. We put as much work into this Sunday, knowing that we're going to be about 40 to 50% down. We look back at our numbers to prepare, but we put the same amount of work as we would if we knew we were going to have 100% attendance. Because what you're saying to folks when they do that is, hey, you matter just as much, even though your family doesn't have a lake house like everybody else, and that's one of my favorite ways, though, because we live in this affluent sort of area, and I love it. It's great, whatever. But I always like to joke on a Sunday like this and say, "Hey, welcome everybody who doesn't have a lake house. So glad you're here, or doesn't have a friend who has a lake house." So, but we still just blow it out, and you end up picking up some people who might not come just because they think it is going to be down. So that was a side.
Yeah.
I got off on a little tangent there, but did I answer your question?
You did. You did.
You good?
Okay, so
What you got?
we are doing one of the things we're doing this year. This is not new either. Like a lot of people do this, but Nerf Wars.
Oh, dude, we want to do a Nerf thing so bad.
Yeah, I'll have to. Did you see our promo?
No.
Okay, I'll send you our promo video. Gosh, it's so funny.
Good? Post it on the post.
So funny.
Post it on the group. I'm not even going to watch it unless you post it on the group. I refuse.
Okay,
because you should share it with our people.
Yeah, so Nerf Wars, this is an easy thing, right? Everybody come bring a Nerf gun. We'll have a few. We'll buy some extras just to have some for folks who don't have them, and then a couple hours we'll just get together and play Nerf Wars. It's again easy to do, right? You just show up and play and leave. Not a whole lot of setup. We'll have some things set up, obviously, in some different ways and rounds that we'll play, but pretty open as far as like, I think our girls are more excited about it than our guys are. So it's not like a guy heavy thing or a girl heavy event. It's pretty neutral. It's easy one to invite friends to, and it'll be fun, man. So
that's really
Nerf. We're doing Nerf Wars. And
I think you could win with that too, because I don't think you have to buy everything because we're going to do it at some point, and we've kind of started the brainstorming process. But in my mind, it would be, tell me if I'm right on this. With Nerf Wars, you would say you might have a rule on how, like a fully automatic gun or whatever, like Nerf gun. Like if there was some kid who had birthday money and wanted to spend $150 on a gun, he was going to just destroy everybody. Maybe you limit that a little bit. But ultimately, I think you could pull this off by saying, hey, everybody bring your own gun.
Yeah.
And then all you would maybe do is buy extra bullets. Like, do you provide extra ammo?
We're gonna have a bunch of extra darts, and then we're gonna buy several extra guns just in case, somebody shows up without one or doesn't have one. But it's a pretty low cost event, really. And we've got some graphic stuff that we're making up, and
we see some guys online too, and all they do is like they just take like folding tables and stick them up and take.
Yeah, you don't have to get super
furniture they already have and make that the barricade and stuff.
So they sell now, and I don't know that we're going to do this, but my son has this because he bought it with his birthday money. But this Laser X kit, it's like laser tag. They sell it at Target and different places, and they actually sell inflatable barricades like you'd have for paintball.
Oh, that's cool.
And so he's got a bunch that he sets up at times in the backyard.
So he just runs around, plays by himself. That sounds weird.
Yeah, just him. He wins every time. It's amazing. No, he got sets of guns. But yeah, so even stuff like that, you can make barricades out of anything. Big old box. You could be really creative with how you do that. But super chill, easy to do. Very little cleanup, right? I mean, just pick up darts from everywhere.
I love it. So that's good, man. That's real good. All right, here you go. We just do, and I think I probably have mentioned this in passing, but another way to hang out. It's similar, but it's different. Again, if you're just like sitting here right now going, man, I don't know what I'm going to do this summer to hang out with kids. Just fast food Mondays. And
you've done that for a long time.
We have, but guess what? We're not doing them this year. What? I know. We're tweaking. We changed it. We're doing our summer hangouts instead, and because we stumbled onto the other idea. But I'm not doing. I'm not doing it because they're bad. We're just being proactive and being creative and changing it, right? Yeah. Because we have done it forever. But no, Fast Food Mondays is just an easy way to say, look at your calendar. What Mondays can you do it? You put together a list. Now, again, my apologies if you live in rural and you're like going right now, we've got a Dairy Queen, and that's your only option. Sorry about that, but just go to the Dairy Queen every time. That's fine. But no, what I'm saying is just lay out for us. We just go, okay, hey, on this Monday, we're going to be here. On this Monday, we're going to be here. And I just go and meet kids there. And the deal with the parents is they drop them off, they pick them up. And we go for a long time. And you call the stores and get them, let them know you're coming. Sometimes you can even get like a little extra tweet or treat for the kids or whatever, like some ice cream or whatever.
That's cool.
If you plan it out. But just the easy way to hang out.
Man, and if you lived in a place that really legitimately only had a Dairy Queen, instead of fast food Mondays, you could do ice cream Sundays and meet at Dairy Queen on Sundays.
Sunday nights, like after
Sunday
church
nights. Yeah.
It's good. Right there's what that is. Ice cream Sundays every Sunday night throughout July or through June or whatever July. We're going to eat ice cream. God, I love that. So, yep.
There you go.
Fast food Mondays.
I like it.
I've been doing fast food Mondays for a long time.
Yeah, I know you
I
have.
think I may have done fast food Mondays in Texas while I was there. I think. I can't remember. Yeah, maybe Philip Higginbotham listening. Maybe he can remind me. I don't know. So,
okay. So this one's a little different, but it's something that we try to do every year, and it's been really good for us. And it rather than being more of a, well, I don't know. This is more of a campus ministry thing. Summers are a great time to do some campus ministry, even though schools aren't in. And so we have typically gone and provided like popsicles or ice cream for the marching band or for the football team. Because those guys
are a great idea.
Because they're doing band camp and practices through the summer. And usually we've actually never had someone tell us no. When we just show up at the end of practice or in the middle of, if it's really hot one day in the middle of practice, whenever we coordinate that with the band directors or the coaches or whatever. Whatever team it is that we're working with. And yeah, we've done something really simple where we've just gone and bought a bunch of the Freezy Pops and froze them, and stacked some coolers up. We had, for a while, man, I had this lady in my church that had a soft serve ice cream truck. It was awesome. And so we had her come out to the football and did soft serve ice cream to the football team one day. We have partnered with the local like frozen yogurt place, and they did little cups of yogurt. We paid for them, but they gave us a huge discount. So it doesn't have to cost. Freezy Pops are super cheap, man.
I think they're like 1 cent a piece. Something like
they're super. You just have to freeze them in advance. That's the key there. And so we just show up and serve them. It's a super easy.
There's something up with those things. Like I love them, but they take forever to freeze for some reason. Like I don't know what that means about the chemical makeup of those things, but
yeah, I think it just takes a really long time for crack to freeze.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh my gosh!
But yeah, so we try to do that. If we can, and sometimes like we can do it a couple times a summer, and again, super low cost, doesn't involve a ton. It's just a matter of getting a hold of the coaches or the directors or whoever in advance and setting that up and making sure they're okay with you coming out and doing that and finding out when they want you to come. But yeah, because I was a band kid and my kids were in marching band, and I know how hot it gets. You appreciate that stuff very much.
That's cool. Do it right though. Take scissors with you, because getting into one of those little things without a pair of scissors is like.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, you just gotta carry some scissors with you. So
that's great.
I'm right.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Okay, this next one you could implement immediately, but it does require something, and you may not have this depending on where you live. But if you have within say 45 minutes to an hour, a putt-putt place, So a putt golf type course.
Yeah.
Do you have one there where you live?
Yeah.
That's good.
And a Dairy Queen.
Dude, I love Dairy. I actually love Dairy Queen. Blizzards are, they're amazing. So here's the idea. Been around for a while. This was not, I think we stole it from somebody at some point when it started, but you do a mini masters at a putt place. And what's awesome is if you plan strategically and you plan to do this like long term, you can definitely have some big time fun with it. I feel like we've talked about this maybe in one of the podcasts before, but if not, here it is again. But you can literally go, hey, we're going to do this mini masters and we've got a green jacket and we've got a trophy and your name can get put on the trophy each year. Come up with some lame trophy. You get people to dress up silly, give out prizes for best, people just need to go all out on it. And you've got to come up with your own rules on how you're going to start. You probably want to do a shotgun start, depending on how many kids you have, or they start at different holes. You'll have to coordinate that with the putt place, but you could also give out prizes. You could have a closest to the pin or hole in one on like one of the more difficults. And there's different things you could do, like that. Have some of your youth workers spread out throughout. You could have like a couple of youth workers spread out, like, and act like caddies for a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. It'd be so funny to have caddies.
Oh, I dress up like a caddy every year. And this is one of our high school events, and I don't technically even have to go, but I absolutely love this event. And so it's just fun. Mini masters, genius. Good times for sure. So
that's great. That's funny.
And you could pull that off quick. I mean, that doesn't take a lot of planning. I mean, it takes planning, but it doesn't take a ton. You just got to throw it out there and go, hey, we're going to do this thing. And
yeah, I like it. Okay.
By the way, a little tip for you there, just in case. Let me throw out a little tip. This is a pro tip. If you buy like from Walmart or whatever, the cheap painters, they're not called jumpsuits. What are they called?
Like the coveralls.
Coveralls, like the cheap coveralls. Like they're nothing, dude. You look like, that looks like a caddy. Like that's what those caddies wear.
That's true.
So that's just an easy.
They paint on the side.
It doesn't take much. That's all I'm saying.
That's great. Okay, so for me, my next one, I'm a sucker for a scavenger hunt. I love scavenger hunts so much because you can do so many things with them, right? And so we've done super simple, like around the church scavenger hunts, like find certain items, or questions like how many steps are on the back staircase, kind of scavenger hunts.
Yeah.
Photo scavenger hunts.
It's a good way to get workers too, man. I like that.
If you can work out transportation, depending on how the size of your group, man, like around the town, scavenger hunts are fun. You just have to be careful that you're not like taking off a bunch of local businesses. But photo scavenger hunts are great. We used to we've done a few times. We've done like an amazing race type thing. Now that's a lot more involved because you've got to have clues and tasks and challenges that they do. And we've done those around. We did that for we did a week long amazing race where like they'd come every night for the week and then compete. And around we had all set up around the church, different things. But yeah, man, I think scavenger hunts are so easy to set up. You could do some simple ones we used to do, even when I worked as a team director, we would do a scavenger hunt as part of our staff training. And we would just send them out around town together in different groups to go and retrieve certain things. They get so many points for what they bring back. But the scavenger hunts aren't new. I feel like that was a huge thing in the past and maybe not as much now. But man, they're still fun.
I'm literally typing that right now. Not kidding. Because we need the hangouts I talked about. I think it'd be great. So I'm literally,
I love them.
Sorry, I know we're in the middle of a podcast here, but I'm literally making a note.
It's okay. I wrote a few things down that you mentioned.
Hey, what do you think about this? So
The Amazing Race
fill the
stuff
gap
was
while I'm typing
super
there,
fun.
Jody, is what I'm saying.
Gosh, when we did the Amazing Race, now it was a ton of work. The tricky part with the scavenger hunt, if you have clues that lead you in a certain order, is to remember to put them in the right place. Because you can mess the scavenger hunt real bad by putting the clue, instead of it leading you to the next place, you put it at the next place, and then you get there and you have no place to go because it was taking you to where you already are. But the Amazing Race was super fun. And so we did it when we did it for the week. What we did is when they would come in, whatever place they finished in, we would let them go the next day in that order, and we would space them just like in the real Amazing Race. You leave however long you came in, you wait and you leave that much later, but we didn't. We just staggered it like a couple minutes or whatever. So super fun. Then we leveraged that thing like crazy. We had like a pit stop. We had, I think we would maybe give them a snack. We had like a little Bible study thing we did all week for that. But then the photo scavenger hunts, and if you use, especially now, because so many of our students, are leveraging having phones and social media and different things, you can really leverage even using Instagram or something with a hashtag for the scavenger hunt. If there's certain things they have to get pictures of, we've done that as well. It's fun. But yeah, if you're out,
you said, because when I typed it just a minute ago to one of my interns, I literally said, Instagram. I actually said that.
Yeah.
Like, what if we did Instagram?
Yeah, and you remember like this was a thing way back in the day, but we used to do bigger and better. Did you ever do bigger and better? Bigger or better?
I've heard about that before. No, I've never done it. I've heard about it.
So you start with something like a paperclip or a ping pong ball, and they can go anywhere, but they have to trade what they have for something that's either bigger or better. And then they have a certain time they have to come back and they bring back what they ended up with. So
yeah,
it's pretty awesome. We've done that before. The warning I'll give you is sometimes you have to figure out what you're going to do with everything that comes back. Right. So like we did it the last time we did it, we ended up with like a boat. We ended up with a pool table, which was awesome. So that went in the youth room. Right. But we also ended up with this ginormous like chair that was like a high heel shoe. That did not stay in the youth room. I have a friend who did it, and they came back with like an old car. So you just got to be a little careful on that one.
Yeah,
but it's fun to see what they come back with.
You got to be ready for sure. All right, you ready for mine? This will be my last one. Then I have a bonus.
Me too.
It's a Jesus Juke bonus. So here we go. I'm totally stealing this. I've asked for permission, but I've not gotten a response. But I love this guy, so I'm hoping he's okay with it because it's a brand new thing he just came up with. But our high school, we've not done it yet. There's the warning label, I guess. So I think, I really like this a lot. So he came up with this idea where he's going to do for our high school students, our high school pastor, Brian Weatherholt, who's amazing. He's doing this thing called Picture Show. But if you spell out show and you SH and then you put a 2 OW in the middle, there's H2O, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he designed a logo, where it was like Picture Show and the 2's kind of drop down between the SH and the OW so you can see H2O.
Yeah.
Clever, right? Literally what he's doing, instead of a classic, hey, this summer, let's get together and watch a movie, he like on the fields or like on a field or outside or something, he's doing that same thing. But this is so good. I love this. He's getting a bunch of kiddie pools and filling them all up with water. and so when you get there, you and your buddies find one of the kiddie pools, jump in, and you get to watch the movie that night from a kiddie pool. Part of me thinks it's gross, but
it is. It sounds a little gross. Well, I've seen that with that. So folks have done like a drive-in.
Yeah, well, it's the same type of deal, but this one's in pools.
My other one, I had outdoor movie as my other as well, and so I've seen people do drive-in where they just get big cardboard boxes and make what looks like cars.
Oh yeah.
and they come in and you just sit in the box.
Yeah, sure.
Car. I love an outdoor movie though. Those are always fun.
I did see. I saw this one online related to that. Some group was showing. I'm not saying you should show Jaws to your youth group, so please, listen carefully. But maybe you could get another beach top movie or something. But they watched it at a pool,
you watched Soul Surfer.
You watched it so some big water park is doing a Jaws thing, and you watch the movie sitting in a tube in the water, which ain't happening. Ain't happening for me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not down with that.
That's funny.
Jaws
when I worked at the Y, we used to do that. They would call dive-in movies.
Yeah.
And we would show it in the pool.
Yeah.
Like you could come hang out and swim in the pool while you're watching.
Yeah. Bunch of kids in bathing suits in the water together. Dark. What could go wrong? Seriously.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. So props to Brian for that. I hope he's okay with me sharing it now that I have. So final, I think so yours was the movie thing as well, right? So my bonus would be this. Don't miss out on the opportunity just to get kids together to do some type of Bible study together. This really is an opportunity to go an extra mile, maybe even a little bit deeper with a handful of kids. And you don't have to have everybody show up for this, but pick a Bible study, pick a book of the Bible even, and say, hey, every whatever morning, I'm going to be up here at the church. We'll love some students to hang out. We're going to go through this together and just use that as a time to do a Bible study together. Most parents are down with that. Most parents, not all, but most parents are trying to find things for their kids to do. So if you say, hey, man, we're going to just take a couple hours every Wednesday morning from 10 to noon and do this Bible study together, what a great moment, for you to hang out with kids. So simple idea. But again, if you're looking for something to do this summer, that might be it. And YM360 probably has a great Bible study that you could go through, by the way. Throwing that out there.
We did that with our college guys, and we would do Panera bread.
Yeah.
Because they have Cinnamon Crunch bagels, which are amazing, and coffee on tap. And so, we would meet up at Panera and do that. And we went, I'm trying to think, we did a bunch, but those older, so if you're high school, looking at older high school or even like college students, a great little book that we did was Just Do Something by Kevin DeYoung.
So good. That's a good book.
8 chapters or something like that. Super short really chapters too. And just kind of on helping those guys discern. And it's kind of pitched as helping them discern the will of God. And it comes down to just like, hey, do something, right? Like don't just sit and wait.
Yep.
So it's really good. But I love that. It's a good one. Well, that's a good list, man. Now that I've got my summer events calendar listed out here of what I'm going to do, we've talked through this. I'll go and have them promote that. And just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, no, I think the intentionality here is just this. Typically, everybody's got a little bit of an open spot. Well, and honestly, what happened for me was like literally, as you were saying, that whole idea about the scavenger hunt. I have a hole that we're still trying to flesh out, and I was like, "Oh, I could use that idea. That's pretty good, actually." So
sure,
good times, man. Good,
cool,
good episode.
Right.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget YM360 for that Bible study you're going to do, and Georgia. The Georgia folks, the Student Ministry Network, thanks. StudentMinistryNetwork.com is where you'd find them. So big time props.
Good people. Hey, if you are, I think that this will be fun. If you're in the Longer Haul Super Secret Podcast Group, and you're in the Longer Haul Podcast Group, and you've got some summer ideas, things that you're doing this summer, it'd be fun, man. We'll start a thread in there, and you guys can just jump in and share.
Hey, let's do this too. Can I say this real quick? If you've made it to this point and you're still listening, we would love you to do us a favor. Jody and I were talking, in pre-show prep earlier, and it's interesting. Almost all of the youth ministry podcasts got spammed recently. And again. And whatever. We're going to keep doing what we do, and it's not about the ratings, but it has been a little bit since we've had kind of a batch of ratings come in. And so if you're listening and you've never given a rating on iTunes and you'd be willing, just to be honest, we're not asking you to give us 5 stars. We're asking you to be honest, but if you'd be willing to go on and just leave a review just to sort of build that up a little bit. Even example right now, currently the one that's a spam, because we can't get rid of them, because it's disguised carefully, even though we know it's not a real review because it matched all the other ones that came out at the same time, on the other podcasts. So anyway, if you're willing to do that, that'd be huge. We'd appreciate it big time. Just go on there and leave a nice review or whatever, and that'll help us a little bit. So,
yeah, it's always encouraging to hear.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
For sure. Cool.
There you go.
Well, thanks. This was fun. We should do this again next.
We should.
Well, almost summer.
Or since we're batch recording, how about we stop this one and start another one in like 5 minutes? What do you say?
Okay, that sounds good.
Do that. Okay,
we'll do that too. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging in here. Be sure to check out the sponsors again. And yeah, if you're in the podcast group, we'd love to hear what you've got coming up this summer. Some creative, fun things you have planned. But other than that, that'll do it for this week. And so we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Longer Haul Youth Ministry Podcast at www.thelongerhaul.com.